Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 11 of Timeliner, my progression-locked Ironman series, where I'll be exploring the world of Runescape, one game update at a time, only with the gear and skills available up until this point. Another year passed. How time flies. Last episode, we've completed the final update of 2002. As Runescape is constantly evolving, I have to approximate the actual experience from back then. Now let's take a look on what exactly has changed. A total of 22 quests were released in 2002, the year with the second most amount of quests, albeit a lot of them were quite short. Back in 2001, the majority of the 18 quests had a significant change, and often a complete rework. It was quite refreshing that we mostly got to experience the 2002 quests as intended. I make sure to check the update history section for the quest on the wiki to see what changed, and for the most part there was just some bug fixes and spell checkings. There were even two which had a completely empty history. Tribal Totem and Monk's Friend in 2024 are exactly as they were in 2002. Barring graphical upgrades of course. And even the changes to quests were minor in comparison. Most notably Hero's Quest, which can now be completed solo, but using your own second account to complete it is not that far off of doing it solo. And the quest start was a bit messed up due to changes in the quest point rewards of many 2001 quests. Additionally, in an undocumented change from 2017, the quest point requirement was further raised from 55 to 56. The follow-up, Legends Quest, should not be affected by this issue, as it is a bit more lenient in quest point requirements. Aside from that, only Hazy Cult received a bit of a rework in 2012, but the overall flow of the story is very true to the original. Additionally, we've laid the foundation of some of the longest quest series of RuneScape, with uncovering the secrets of a plague in Dawn, starting the Elf quest line. Although elves were so far only briefly mentioned in lore adjacent Waterfall quests, it won't be too long until we see some pointy ears. And while only loosely collected at this point, we've stumbled across different Machorads and their schemes in multiple quests already, coming from a purely old school perspective. This is the questline I'm most excited to see, although it'll probably be quite a while until the narratives conclude. And to round it off with some good old racial divide, we started the Gnome questline, halting Glove in his plan of achieving Gnome world domination. With him now on the loose, the next time our paths cross will be more challenging than just a black demon. On the skilling side of things, we received 4 new skills, bringing the total amount of available ones to 18 out of currently 29. And one of these, Thieving, even got maxed in that time frame. There were issues with the high scores, so at any point of 6 to 19 weeks after release, the first player hit 99. Morally questionable, but a respectable achievement. From the 2001 skills, most of them were brought to 99 during that year as well, leaving only Crafting and Prayers as the last skills from that year which were not maxed. Achievements were just still not rewarded with a skill cape until 2006. Our skill selection will remain as is for a while now, with no new skill on the horizon until after the completion of RuneScape Classic in early 2004. Maybe this will give us time to hone our existing skills. If we are lucky, we'll even achieve level 50 defense to finally wear rune armor. This would be very helpful for upcoming boss fights. The King Black Dragon was only killable due to getting another inventory of food mid-trip. Being able to kill a boss in one go would be a mighty upgrade. But now, without further ado, we jump into the first update of 2003. On the 27th of January, we return to tropical Karamja. Sunny beaches, nice music, friendly people. This place has got it all. It got an even further area expansion to the south and the east, with a whole new village, which coincidentally is the name of quest number 41, Shilo Village. Let's check it out. Looking pretty grim here. The entry to the village is blocked by a massive amount of undead. A local warns us that this is the sign of the return of the evil Roshilia, the Queen of the Dead, which will spell certain doom to the world. Oh wow, sounds pretty bad. Good luck with that. In a change of heart, and totally not because I clicked away the conversation too soon, we offer our help in stopping this evil queen and as a first step should consult Trophitus, the shaman we helped last time to drink Jungle Potion. Karamja still proves to be absolute jank. Of course, he has no dialogue option. Instead, the quest triggers by using an item on him. I always make sure to check the update history of quests, and most of the old ones are littered with a plethora of interaction streamlining. And this has got a surprising lot for a Karamja quest, but still is littered with odd design. Despite our rambling, Trophitus tells us some important details. Queen Rashilia has no known weakness, but there is an old legend about the ancient temple of Azarun, which might lead us to more information, but the temple is lost. According to legend, it was built on land close to water by some guy named Zadimus. Rashilia allegedly caused the temple to collapse, as he did not reciprocate her feelings towards him, but this is all just a theory. If we are to find the temple, we need some adventuring supplies. Coincidentally, there's a general store with a pretty good selection just around the corner. Jiminua has got everything an adventurer needs. A tinderbox, torch, some ropes, anti-poison, spade, pickaxe, knife and hammer. Pretty much her entire RuneScape Classic stock brought out. No idea what exactly we'll end up using, but better safe than sorry. Since the eastern part of the island was only added in this update, that seems to be a very good place to start our search, right along the river that separates the island. Ah, finally a place where we can put our agility level to real use. So gracious. A bit further downstream, these weird plant structures look very ominous. Maybe those are overgrown temple ruins. No real entrance, but while trying to dodge ogres, we accidentally stumble upon an interactable pile of dirt. Well, if that ain't convenient. And we even have a shovel with us. Pretty deep hole, and too dark to safely fix a rope. My, aren't we prepared? Dropping a torch down allows us to attach a rope to a sturdy rock, and now we can safely walk down. An underground cave system crawling with undead. Seems we are on track. Let's investigate. An abandoned campsite with some wood. Crafting a ladder? This must be our way out of here. And we messed it up. This consumed all the wood, but was not enough to build a ladder to get us out of here again. Yeah, that's a problem for future us. Carry on. There are some side corridors, and at the end of one of them, we find yet another outpost of a runecrafting guild, with an unfortunate soul lying defeated in front of it. Shame. Let's pillage him. I'd have expected to search the skeleton for some items, but no. We just put the whole damn thing into our backpack. Wild. Couldn't find anything else down here, and at the end of the main corridor, we find another way out by climbing past a waterfall. Back to Trophitus to tell him of our finds and ask for further help. The body we found belongs to Zadimus, the architect of a temple. To free his spirit, we should bury him in sacred ground in the center of the village. Fortunately, the ghost can speak with us even without the ghost speak amulet equipped. And as a thanks for freeing his spirit, he gives us a hint on how to defeat Rashilia. He is the key, but only kin may approach her. And with that, his spirit is gone, leaving just a bone behind. I suppose it will be the key, but now we need someone of her kin. Trophitus, however, also mentioned that we should find a bunch of scrolls down in the temple. So, after graciously making our way back, we'll take a closer look again. And indeed, we find a scroll about Bevirius, Rashilia's son. He was slain in battle, and in order to bring him back to life, his mother turned to Tomorak, who resurrected him as a twisted undead. Eventually, he was defeated, and his bones buried in a tomb in the south, the only place able to contain spirits of witches and the undead. Ah, so that is both her reason for becoming evil, as well as the way to defeat her. So we need to find Rashilia's remains and place them in the same tomb as her son. A different scroll tells us that there is no protection from a terrible power. A special necklace that can keep her at bay. No hints what that could be, but Trophitus might be able to help here. And last but not least, at the abandoned camp, we can cut a plague of ladders from some rock. Now, this was hopefully everything. I spent a good 10 minutes trying to find any interactable objects around here. Back to Obvana to get up to speed. Alright, so burying Tsadimus was good, and he even knows where the tomb of Beverius is, on a small island to the southwest. We may even find some helpful items there to build the protective necklace. The other scrolls from the temple don't seem to trigger any more dialogues. Guess we have to do some grave robbing first. Across the sturdy bridge should be the island we're looking for. What could go wrong? This, I guess. No worries, we still got half a body. Yo, chill. It's half my HP. Now, once more with better luck. Aha, an interactable rock. Perfect. Maybe I should have spent more time training agility. A couple more attempts of flailing helplessly later, we find a way inside. And there's a tomb. This must be Beverius' resting place. And at top, we find 3 more items. A sword pommel, a crystal sphere, and yet another note with 3 separate texts. The first telling of Rochelia's resting place, north of the temple. The second of crystals that adorned her tombs, which glowed when near each other. And the final one tells us that we can use some of our spirit to power the crystal. Sounds pretty straightforward enough. Use the crystal north of Arzarun to find the tomb. Back to Trophitus for help with the sword pommel. You may not like it, but this is the ideal RuneScape inventory. This is what peak questing efficiency looks like. I didn't know Bethesda made Karamja. Interesting development. Now, showing the pommel to Trophitus, we get some good hints. We need a bronze necklace, and the pommel may just be significant enough so we should look to craft something from it to attach to the necklace. And for the necklace, we need a bronze bar. I'm pretty sure we still have some in the bank, so bye bye Karamja, we need an anvil. Perfect, that's some bronze, and a chisel would be my best guess for a crafting tool for the pommel. And we get a bunch of beads. Now just hammering a bronze bar into wire, and we can craft ourselves a pretty protective necklace. I believe this should finally be everything. Only thing missing is finding the tomb. But we have a rough idea and a locator orb. Back on the far north of Karamja, the orb is already glowing quite strongly. Surely it must be near the coastline over there. Finally crossing that log without failing. And the orb is glowing very brightly already. Now further north or south? Let's try it out. Colder in the south, so up north we go. And that is our prayer gone. Not enough to use it another time. Oh well, it should be right around here. Well, hello there. A locked door. Tsadimus said something about being the key, so we'll try his bone. It's the right size, but not quite good enough. Maybe we have to shape it up a bit. The chisel once again is putting in work. Now with the key we can unlock the tomb, ready to face an evil queen. This place is crawling with undead. And there's another locked door to the side. But an indent of skeletons is missing some bones. Getting some, however, shouldn't be an issue. Thanks, mindless undead. Now this should hopefully be Rochelia's tomb. Trying to loot it, however, seemed to have triggered a safety mechanism and awoke an undead guardian. Not just a rule. Come here, you foul beast, and eat some rune. Killing him once is not enough, however, as his skeleton returns. And all good things are free, so his ghost must be dealt with as well. Sticky thing, but no, that was hopefully it. An lootable skeleton appears on the tombstone. This must be Rochelia. Let's put an end to this curse and place her remains next to her son. But first we have to fight yet more Karamja Jank to get out of here. Because of course, neither options at the door can open it now. Instead we have to use the key onto it. This place. Back in Beverius' tomb, we can put down her corpse and her spirit appears, thanking us for releasing her. Samarak had tricked her, and now she can finally rest. And we get a completed quest. A bunch of crafting XP and access to a new Shilo Village. Oh yeah. While it is still besieged by undead, we are assured that these are just the last few remains and they pose no serious harm. Alright, still seems a bit odd to leave them there, but okay, whatever. Finally, we can clean up our inventory and even get rewarded with cash, as the local antiques dealer is buying all the things we found along the way. And today's update also brought gem rocks to the game. First, only available here. These rocks will always grant a random gem. While not a good crafting training method, if you are ever in the need of a new crafted jewelry now, we are no longer dependent on the rare drop table. You'll have to see when this is becoming useful. For now, we leave this island behind us. We won't get an update here for quite a bit. And thus, we've completed the update from the 27th of January 2003. A look at the next update on the 28th. One day later, we receive an exciting new update and the first minigame of RuneScape. Gnome Ball. Testing both our agility and strength, we have to dodge or tackle our way through groups of gnomes to throw a ball into a net for some minor XP. Breathtaking. Just like our tackling move. Just straight up murder. You'll love to see it. Now let's take a look at the next real update. Jagex wasn't kidding when they said they will put a lot of time into a coherent story quest line, as we receive yet another update to the Elf Quest series. After uncovering the false plague and biohazard last episode and confronted the king, who gave us an excuse that his brother Tyrus was corrupted by evil forces to the west, we had to wait for some time for the next steps, and that time is now, on March 3rd, 2003. The King's Scouts have uncovered a secret mountain passage leading to the Well of Voyage, an ancient portal to the western lands, where Tyrus is gathering strength. The path is barred by some Morakian cultists under the leadership of Ivan, a madman claiming to be the son of Tamurak himself. In quest number 42, Underground Pass. Right now, one of his trackers, Koftik, is waiting for us in Westerdon to help us traverse these tunnels. I'm quite excited for this quest, and looking at its lengthy update history, I hope it has not lost its charm as a brutal reminder that you should have always trained more agility. With just level 35, this will be fun. Geared up with everything an adventurer could need, and some lightweight range equipment, we meet up with Koftik for a final briefing. I don't know if all these items are necessary, as no dialogue said what exactly we needed, but I hope it won't cause too much backtracking. It's pretty much the same stuff from Shilo Village. Koftik warns us further that strange whispers can be heard in these tunnels, corrupting even the fairest heroes. No worries, mate. We'll have to struggle way too much with agility obstacles to pay any mind to random voices. Now let us brave these steps. Surprisingly well lit, with a real lamppost even. And toxic ground that glows in the dark. I think we'll take the long way around. Hello again, Koftik. And that's our first obstacle already. A pulled up drawbridge. Some leftovers from previous adventures can be found at the campfire, however. A piece of glove. And a diary of Renders, a strong warrior who was lost in these tunnels, describing how he succumbed to Tamurak's whispers. Ignoring that, we wrap a glove around an arrow, light it on the fire, and shoot it at the rope holding up the bridge. Success! You coming, Koftik? No? Oh, alright. Maybe we have to lower it again with this lever to make him follow us? No, wait! I didn't quite see that one coming. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. Moving on, there are quite a few creatures here, but luckily not aggressive. A plank, that might come in handy. Better not leave it behind. Ooh, a pipe. But of course it's blocked from the other side. Is this a shortcut we can unlock at a later point, if we need to backtrack? Neat. And that's the next obstacle already. But before that, a rock to the side with more innate ramblings about losing your soul. No time for that, we have to cross a chasm. This torn rope here seems like a perfect place for a new one. It was surprisingly hard to find the right clickable object, but here we go. Yeehaw! And that's the first fail. I suspect it won't be the last. So let's get a counter started. Never been down here, but this clearly visible path should lead us back upstairs at some point. This was way longer than I expected, and the quicker when we're already down. We are back at the very start of the cave. So once again, fire arrow for bridge, a new rope lasso, because of course the old one is just gone, and praying that it works now. At least some luck. Ouch. Oh, hey, Kaufstick. How did you get here? I don't like where this is going. We've been here for like 5 minutes and you already hear voices. Pull yourself together and don't quote Pulp Fiction at me. Now then, our next obstacle. A 5x5 grid of trapdoors. Only one path is safe, and the only way to find out is by trial and error. Error number 1. Error number 2. And success. Alright. Let's keep on moving forward until we fall. Quite lucky. Very lucky. Wow. I think this is the easiest path we could have gotten. Thanks, RNG. Very kind. Just as kind as these zombies who don't attack us, just peacefully standing there near this furnace, and a pile of bodies is laying at a burnout campfire. Better move on. Ooh, the other end of the pipe from earlier. Let's remove the grill to unlock the shortcut. What a weird way to climb through, but nonetheless, this was a pretty big mistake. For some strange reason, the grill is shut again. Great. Just great. And we don't even have any more ropes to get back across. I didn't think we'd be stuck that early. Now back at it with a restocked inventory. This is hopefully enough rope. Back past the zombies and we run straight into an arrow trap. This hallway is littered with holes in the wall, ready to riddle us with arrows. Better be careful. And the next rock message, preaching to the leader Ivan. And another one by a well. This one is a bit more useful. We need to climb through this well, but light causes the path to be blocked. And next to some skeletons by the wall, we find another journal of Rander's. He came here with a group of knights with some magical light spears. Their souls were too pure to allow them to enter in conjunction with light. Rander's, however, seem to have passed through there. Let's try our luck. We've done plenty of morally questionable things so far, I believe. Ouch. Nope. It seems we must get rid of the light orbs first. We should find one at the end of each of the hallways. The first one has just some ground traps, which in retrospect I voted illegally. In case you didn't know, while running your character moves 2 tiles per game tick, and for the most parts only registers on every second tile. That means you can run over quite a few things, if you are positioned correctly. But at this point in time, running wasn't in the game. Instead, I should have used the plank from earlier to make a safe path over the trap. Oh well, just save some time. Meanwhile, we've retrieved the second orb from a similar hallway, and the third is just waiting between some ogres. And finally, the last one is just lying there at the end of this hallway. Maybe there's a bit more to it. Let's disarm the trap. Let's disarm the trap correctly. Now, the furnace from earlier looks like a good place to destroy them. Goodbye lights. This should hopefully unseal the bell. Hooray, progress. There are a few abandoned crates down here. Maybe we'll find some supplies. Meat pie and cooked fish. I wonder how long these have been stored here. Definitely safe to eat. Ooh, decent amount of life down here. A bunch of goblins and locked up humans. Pray tell, what is going on here? Sounds nasty. Well, good luck with that. We'll just dig through this off-colored piece of soil here. And beyond this tunnel, our next larger obstacle awaits us. A walkway that violates just about every safety regulation you could think of. No railguard, uneven and sometimes missing planks, all located above pointy iron stakes. The only saving grace is that the fall damage is surprisingly small. This will be fun. Well, only 3 fails. I think we got quite lucky. I really hope this pipe will be the way forward and not once again a backtrack. Seems new. A bunch of skeletons and a locked up unicorn. This whole place is swarming with undead. Jeez. Luckily, they are not aggressive, so still plenty of food left despite the numerous fails so far. And finally, for the first time we meet some friendly NPCs. Paladins from Easter Dawn. Hail warrior, your king sends me. They are also on an expedition down here to search for a passage to the Well of Voyage, but are blocked by a magical door ahead and are out of ideas on how to progress. Time for us to take a look. And they even give us a bunch of supplies. How nice. Juggling inventory slots is not so trivial. I hope I didn't leave anything important behind, but I want as much food as possible. There's a blocked door and an inspectable well with some skeletons, just like before. Let's see what heinous task we need to do this time around. Crest from 3 blessed ones, and the remains of a creature. Well, a pretty unfortunate position for these paladins, but first the creature. That must be the unicorn we fought earlier. Now, how did we kill it and get its remains? I don't have any telegraph runes, and I surely won't run back for them. A suspiciously placed boulder atop a slope, but too heavy to push, and none of the items in our inventory work as a lever. But inspecting the cage, we find a loose piece of railing. This is surely sturdy enough. Don't judge me, please. The quest made me do it. 1 horn must be enough remains. Now back to our paladin friends. Blessed by the light, they may be, but not with intelligence, as a simple rock is enough to safely shoot them one by one, with their comrades not minding this whole thing. And that's the 3rd batch. Now everything down into a well and the door should swing open. Pretty dark here, but this should hopefully be the final room. Let's see how much the fail counter will increase while navigating these pathways. The first of many. A bunch of creepy things down here, and Koftik. Really wondering how that guy moves around here. Unfortunately, there's no way to talk with him. These creatures are aggressive and immediately interrupt our conversation. How rude. Well, hopefully he won't be giving us any important steps for this quest. Otherwise, we have to figure it out ourselves. But first, let's get to safety. Ah, a little stronghold with some dwarves. Hopefully they are friendly. They are, and apparently have been stuck here for decades, coming to these caves to mine ores, and now surrounded by mindless thralls of Iban. They cannot leave. In this time down here, they found out that Iban turned the Well of Voyage into a portal to Tamarok's Dark Realm, and used it to sacrifice his followers. Only by killing Iban can the well be restored to once again offer passage to the land to the west. The only person who could know a way to kill Iban is a dangerous witch who lives on one of the platforms above. Thanks for the information, Niluf, and also for the food. Both very useful. Let's quickly check out his comrades for further help. Clank tells us that these mindless creatures that attacked us are former adventurers who fell to whispers in the caves and are now completely lost. Sounds like Randus is somewhere among them now, if he wrote so much about the voices in his journal. The 3rd of the trio is a bit more lighthearted, just brewing some highly flammable ale. Better not drink too much, we've got some agility to do. Refreshed with knowledge and more food, it's time to pay this witch a visit. But on the way there, we stumble upon the impressive tomb of Ivan himself. Cannot open it, however. Maybe that's for later. Right next to the dwarf encampment is a way back upstairs and also a little house. This must be the witch's lair. Yeah, I didn't really know what I expected by trying to open the door. Peeking through the window, it seems the witch is looking for something important. Maybe finding it will be our ticket inside. Let's take a look. Ah, black cat in the distance. Here, kitty kitty. Yoink. Now with the pet returned, surely we'll be let inside. Yeah, maybe not like this. Placing the cat at the door and knocking seems to be the way. Bit odd gameplay wise, but now we can just enter the hut as the witch is too busy playing with the cat. Oh well, let's drop her. Some potions, a doll and a book. This should be insightful. History time. The witch, Kadia, describes how she turned Ivan into this force of darkness that he is now. Maybe we can find clues here on how to defeat him again. Ivan was a powerful black knight with unmatched ambition in his lifetime, dreaming of turning everyone into a servant of the Dark Lord Samarak. But his dreams were unachieved, and he was slain by the White Knights during the Dawn Ascent. I hope this gets referenced at some point in the future. Never paid enough attention in a quest to remember this one. Anyway, with his mortal life over, Cardia saw an opportunity to see his dreams fulfilled and resurrected him to lead an undead army. For this, she created this effigy we found and smeared it with 4 essences to bind his life force. The first one being some of his flesh. The second was blood from some giant spider in these caves. Then some shadow essence, which was manifested in the form of 3 mighty demons. And last but not least, the abstract concept of conscience, visualized by the sacrifice of a white dove, the symbol of peace. And on the last page, she wrote that this exact same ritual can be performed again to destroy a soul. How very helpful. Alright, I think our task is set. We need some flesh from his grave, kill a giant spider, slay some demons, then find a white dove to sacrifice. Morally questionable once again, but this doesn't sound too difficult. First, the demons. I already saw them on some platforms behind the house while searching for the cat. With our trusty bow, these fiends should fall quickly. Ha! Easily safe spottable on the pathway. They are too big to walk here. Number 1 down. Number 2. And just a quick detour down. While we're at it, maybe we can check out the tomb first. Ouch, defense mechanism. Maybe the dwarves can help with that one. Clank gave us a nice gear upgrade. Gauntlets that protect our hands from the bites of Ivan's mindless slaves. Pretty good, but that doesn't seem to help with the tomb. But maybe the brew can do something for us. They mentioned it was highly flammable. With some luck, we can burn away the defensive magics. Worked out nicely. First essence down. Now let's finish the last demon. Each of them dropped an amulet, which we can use to unlock this chest, which turns 180 degrees once opened. Curious. Unfortunately, I couldn't find in which exact update this came to be. I found a 2017 guide without this glitch and a 2021 with it, so somewhere in between. Anyway, 2 out of 4. Next, let's look for a spider, probably somewhere below. And lucky as we are, we take the quick way there. This side path with cobwebs is looking promising. Yep, a whole bunch of spiders. Luckily, they're not aggressive. And that's a really big one. Nothing a bit of good old-fashioned moonwalking can't deal with. Down we go. Whoa, whoa, chill, run, eat. Phew. Oh, this was unexpected. That was a close one. But now, that only leaves the dove. The dwarves mentioned something about cages and gave us a protective pair of gloves. So let's check out the northwest, where we haven't been yet. A whole bunch of cages. Perfect. Maybe in one of these some birds are locked up. Can't see any over there. Or over here. Strange, they're all filled with people. Does this mean we have to check every single one of them for a hidden bird? Oh no. Oh yes, it wasn't the second one we checked. Well, sometimes you just have to be lucky. That's now all 4 essences smeared on the effigy again. All that is left is to throw it into the Well of Voyage to defeat Ivan and open the path to the west. Should be in this temple in the middle. Hopefully our luck continues. These look like a lot of jumps. Good start. Very good start. And even getting some mage upgrades with Samurai rope top and bottoms. Very nice. Good drip. Now just one last jump. Of course, but we have quite a bit of food left. That wasn't an excuse to instantly fail again. And again. Seriously. Finally. Of course, at the longest part. This took about 8 minutes of falling and running back up again. Alright, healed up, inventory sorted, time to enter the chamber and just toss the doll down into the well. Ivan defines with a lot of magic, but at this point I cannot be bothered to judge. Let's just brute force it. Took a few attempts as I messed up my right click, but here we go. Doll into the well and Ivan just blinks out of existence. Bit uneventful, but hey, We did it! Now we can journey into the west, and we are being rewarded with a mighty new weapon, Ivan's staff. We'll take a closer look at it once we're out of here. Oh, it's Kovstek again. Apparently, he was close to succumbing to the voices, but couldn't tell us as we were interrupted by the soulless. Good to see that he's alright. Unfortunately, the Ball of Voyage is not quite working again, and we first need to report to the king to send some mages down here to restore the passage to the west. But he gets us out of here. No need to backtrack. Very handy. Don't mind me, citizens. Just a loyal Sir Dominus passing through. Nothing to see here. Back at King Lathus, we can inform him of Ivan's demise, and that is quest completed. Another part of the elf quest line down. Now we need to wait a while until the mages have repaired the wall. I have a feeling that this will take about 567 days, but we'll see. Now let's see Ivan's staff in action. Back then this was a very special weapon, capable of casting one very special spell, Ivan's Blast. It was 50% stronger than the hardest hitting spell back then, but was limited to just 25 casts before needing to be recharged, making it not really viable for most content. But with the Evolution of Combat update, this was all changed. Ivan Blast was removed, and the staff functioned like every other mage weapon. The blast was turned into its special attack, however. Let's try it out once to see it in action. Goodbye, hero. Or maybe not, missing some magic levels. Cannot find out what level exactly is needed. Oh, and we will also scan for our special attack energy. Oh well, at least we've completed the update from the 3rd of March 2003. Thank you for watching. Tune in the next episode for some more lighthearted adventures in Kandarin once more. Until then, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.